Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Golf Cart Garage. We are back again. This is Tuesday the 4th, if you can believe that. We are already into June. June the 4th, we are live on Facebook and YouTube right now. So anything can happen. We already have people in the room, that's good. Let me check Facebook and make sure we're rolling. Looks like we're good over there. Okay, everything is looking good. Gene Hanson's, what's going on, Gene? 83 in Michigan, 83 and sunny in Indiana. Big Mike. Galactic Technologies, what's going on, sir? I did get your email, Galactic Technologies, about your lawnmower blades. That's pretty cool. And you're right. Uh, I am into mowers for some reason. I don't know why. I'm into a lot of different things, but I'm sort of into mowers. I guess what I'm into really as a whole is that I'm into tools that are designed for a very specific application. So I'm into golf carts, I'm into jet skis, I'm into motorcycles, very specific mobile application. But you're correct, I am into lawnmowers. Before I moved to Arkansas, in Texas, I was mowing about 7 acres. So I had to get one of the expensive mowers, to help me out there. And I had a Dixie chopper for about 10, 11 years. A very, very nice mower, very nice commercial grade mower. And then one of my other jobs, I mow at a ranch. I don't have a mower of my own, but the ranch has in my area, grasshopper mowers are very popular. So I use a diesel grasshopper at my other job where I mow. It's a pretty good mower too. So yeah, I am kind of into mowers. I don't know if anybody has ever spent a lot of time on, you think those mowers are expensive, those commercial grade mowers that you can buy normally, like everywhere, there's all kinds of competition. You should check the prices on the mowers that they use to maintain a golf course. Like, golf courses have all kinds of equipment that you don't really see that often. Like, you should see their mowers and check the prices on that. I mean, they have greens mowers that all they do is mow the greens, and down to like a quarter of an inch. That's an expensive piece of equipment. And then they have the fairway mowers that pull the big chain of mowers so they can take out a big wide path. I mean, that's some real expensive stuff. So you were right when you assumed I was into mowers a little bit. I am. I think they're cool. Uh, David Irwin, what's going on, David? Tommy Bedford, good morning, Tim. 77 cloudy in Mississippi. Hey, Tommy. Mike Irvin, 71 overcast in Southwest Indiana. Who won the hat? Is it Mike Irvin or was it David Irwin? One of you guys won the hat. Which one was it? 90 degrees here, break from the heat. Kurt, what's going on, Kurt? Rock Dog. Oh, Helpless, there you are. What's going on, Helpless? Camping in Michigan. Oh, okay, cool. Where it's 80 degrees and raining. It's beautiful here today. It rained this morning, Helpless, here in Arkansas, but it's sunny now. I don't know what I didn't look at the weather to see what we got coming. Sunny and hot in Athens. Rock Dog, what's going on? Gary England, Rich Eastman, hello. Favorite channel while looking west over the Chesapeake Bay on this sunny 78-degree day. Rich Eastman, that's cool, man. 84 in Athens. Arian May, hello Tim, how are you doing today? Thanks for the good talk we had on my broken RX fees. I'm currently still dead in the water without an answer in sight, but I'm still hopeful. Arian, I actually did check on you to make sure that the refunds went through, that I talked about, and from what I've been told, they did. So correct me if I'm wrong there, but I did check on you yesterday to make sure that did take place. Sunny and great riding weather, South Georgia. I'm on time today. Easy Mike to you. Hey, Tim and all the gearheads. Ricky Smith. So it was Mike Irvin that won the hat. Okay, cool. David Irwin did not win. Well, you can see why I get that mixed up. So, okay, that's cool. Jeffrey, my wife has got the service manual in her car. We have to go to town either today or tomorrow, and we're going to get it shipped to you either today or tomorrow. But it's in the car with the address and everything to get shipped back. I finished everything that I needed. I pretty much needed some stuff out of the G19 section, and that's about all I needed really. So I got a lot of stuff out of the G19 section. So thank you very much. But it's on its way back to you here in the next day or two, actually. David Irwin says he's still trying to win. Jeffrey 74 in the Poconos. I'm glad you got the email because I've been using the blades and they work great on my Yazoo mower. I was just trying something new out. Yeah, I see what you did. You got the tips so they can be removed, and then you can do maintenance on the tips, you know, and then just reinstall the tips. And then you got the other upward things to keep stuff from getting, I guess, to cut stuff up to getting wound around the spindles. Yep. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Arian says, yeah, I got the refunds. Thank you very much. By the way, we're sitting on cloudy skies and 68 degrees here in Santa Barbara, California. Cool. Yazoo mowers are classics, is what Helpless says. Let me check Facebook while I'm thinking about it. Kevin and Sawyer on Facebook. Good afternoon, Tim. Sunny at 84 in Indiana. What's going on, Kevin? William Moore from Edenton, North Carolina. Hello, William. Thank you for coming today. Oh, I got to make a kind of an announcement. First of all, I want to thank all our subscribers. We've kind of hit another milestone, and I wanted to announce that. We have passed, on YouTube, we have passed 14,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you very much for that, everybody that is subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, whatever you got to do. But we passed 14,000 subs on YouTube. We also have passed 15,000 subs on Facebook. So I'd like to thank everybody for that. That is very, very cool. Very cool. Here's some social media links that you can follow us on besides YouTube and Facebook. Running those right now. Can't stay, work is killing me, Rock Dog. Oh, no problem, Rock Dog. Thank you for stopping in. Joe Foster, Taco Tim. That is correct, Joe. Tim, Taco Tuesday. Thank you, Jeffrey. Westfield, Wisconsin, Bruce. What's going on, Bruce? Westfield, Wisconsin. Okay, so this is episode 2000, this is episode 202. All right, well, we better get started on the regular questions. Hello, Tim, 2018 48 volt. This is Corey Toulbin. 2018 48 volt club car precedent, card only bucks going uphill, has Trojan 8 volt batteries. 2020 pack charged to 51, only one battery is 8.8, all others are 9. Load test good, think batteries are M-Core. Well, I tell you this, Corey, if it only bucks when going up the hill, then I'm not thinking M-Core, because if it was M-Core it would buck all the time. So in other words, if it's only up the hill, then I would be suspicious of one of your batteries dropping out, because that will definitely cause a buck, you know, or where am I at there? And when you say load tested good, what do you mean by that? Because I'd love to see the load test on that low battery when you're on a hill. I'd love to see what's going on with that one. Tommy Bedford says, hey Tim, does GCG have a store with produce, I think you mean products, on display? No, we have a warehouse. You know, everything is pretty much sold online. The website actually is the store. But we do have a warehouse where things ship from. That's where Dave works. You know, everybody knows Dave, you know, that does the videos and everything. That's where Dave is at. He is at the warehouse that does all the shipping. Yeah, Tommy, everything is just on the website. Larry Consley, what's going on, Larry Consley? The warehouse is in Ohio, Tommy. Bruce, any ideas on a 2011 G29 gas that sometimes continues to turn over after stopping and having to disconnect the battery to get it to stop? After putting cable back on, it's back to normal. Bruce, my first suspicion on that would be the pedal stop switch under the floor mat. If you haven't changed that already, I've had some intermittent trouble with those. I don't think I've ever had one stay closed, because what happens is when you push that accelerator pedal, it hits that pedal stop switch, which activates the solenoid. So you got one of two things that are doing that. Either the pedal stop switch is staying activated after you lift your foot off the accelerator pedal, or the solenoid is staying closed after you lift your foot off of that pedal stop switch. So it's going to be one of those two things is what would be my suspicion. I had some 2012 Yamaha G29s, and I think I had like 13 of them. And out of those 13, I believe I had to replace at least 3 pedal stop switches. I think I got some spam over there on Facebook. That's cool. You know you've made it when you get spam. You know you're doing something right when you start getting the spam. Where am I at? Okay. Number 1, we better get started. Yeah, let's get started with the regular questions while I can. This is from Carol. 2006 Precedent with 350 surges at all speeds. I have replaced the carburetor with no change. Could this be an issue with the governor adjustment? Well, the reason you asked, the fact that you asked me that, Carol, that tends to make me believe that someone possibly has tampered with the governor. So I don't know how you came up with that, but the answer to your question is yes, it is very possible that it is a governor adjustment. So my question would be, has someone tampered with it? Because I have seen all kinds of people tamper with the governors, and more times than not, it doesn't turn out very well. Like Yamaha makes it really, really easy on most of their cars. But club cars are a little more difficult. You got to know what you're doing. Easy go, a little more difficult. You might end up making your car faster, but it might end up making your car surge or not drive very good at slow speeds. It's you really need to leave that to somebody that knows what they're doing if they're adjusting on the governor. Jeffrey, I told him I would check how batteries have to go look at a 72 volt Chinese golf cart. The dealer he bought it from new last year says it's okay getting 10 miles out of a charge. You're gonna have to, 10? That seems kind of low. I'd put a voltmeter on those batteries after it goes dead and see if you got one dropping out, Jeffrey, for sure. He does say sometimes when stopping at stop sign, it won't turn over unless he pushes the pedal a number of times. So that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I would be suspecting. That switch is basically open from underneath the car. You can't see anything from the top, but it's sort of open from underneath, and so it's subject to water, debris. It's supposed to be waterproof. It's got a rubber cap on it and everything, but it gets used every time you touch the pedal. So, you know, they can wear out. They can definitely become intermittent. Oh, Keith from over on Facebook. Keith and Chris from Nashville checking in. Cloudy and high 80s in Middle Tennessee. What's going on, Keith? Living the life. All right, number 2. Try to keep up with everybody here. This is from Bill. I have a 2008 Carryall 6 IQ Plus golf cart installing 48 volt lithium battery today. I had 8 6 volt batteries. Batteries 7 and 8 were under the seat. Battery 7 had a small, maybe 14 gauge red wire, which I think was the 12-volt supply for the lights. The problem is there is not any wire connected to number 8, nor is there extra wire connected to any other battery. I have a battery 48 volt to 12 volt step down module, but no idea where I should connect the negative to. Provide power to operate lights. Any advice? Well, Bill, before you had 8 6-volt batteries. So it's very possible that your lights were hooked up across 2 batteries. Now, just because you found one wire on one battery, it's going to be the next battery over, or if you'll follow the negative cable for the next battery over, they may have hooked the negative to the controller or wherever that negative cable goes. So now that you have a lithium, you've got a 48 volt, don't worry about that. You're just going to use your step down reducer. You've got a 48 volt input side, and then you should have wires coming out the output side for usable 12. If you're not sure, put your voltmeter on the output side and see if you're getting a usable 12 right there. I always like to install a switch too, a separate switch for the voltage reducer. Types of fun stuff with the governor. Yeah, they backfire and do all types of fun stuff with the governor. Yes, that's what I told him with the 72 fun. That's true, yeah. I don't like it when people mess with the governor on gas carts because it makes them run. On a club, well, I don't even want to tell how to do it because I don't want to encourage it. But I've seen some weird stuff at golf courses. You know, the guys that play golf, even they tamper with the governors on the golf carts that they get from the golf course. Is that crazy or what? But yeah, they tamper with the governors. Corey says, thanks, Tim. Most likely the batteries are 1 at least. They are getting old anyways. Time to go lithium. Appreciate your channel. Well, thank you, Corey. Yeah, it's most likely, if it is only, like you said, if it's only bucking when you start to climb a hill, then I would be suspecting because the M core doesn't get put under a load when you're going up a hill. The batteries do. Number 3. This is from Kevin. I just bought a lithium battery, 36 volt from a 95 EasyGo TXT. When I first connect them, both positive and negative cables, the battery constantly beeps. Why? The battery beeps or the golf cart is beeping out the reverse buzzer, Kevin? Well, the first thing I'd like to ask is because when you do I've seen a lot of people do battery jobs on TXTs. I've done a lot of them myself. I've seen a lot of people make a mistake at the last minute. They do their own battery, whether you're going lithium or whether you're even replacing your batteries on a TXT, just with lead acid. Your last 2 connections are your positive and your negative cable. That's it. That's your last 2 connections. You've got your batteries connected together, and then you have to connect your positive and negative cable. The problem with a TXT, one of the problems that I've seen reoccur with many, many people, is that those 2 cables are long enough to be put on backwards. So if you can't, even though they're labeled, they actually are labeled if they're original equipment. There's a positive and a negative written on those 2 cables in white paint, usually in OEM cables. If they've been changed, it's probably not there anymore. But my point is that I wish they didn't reach the other direction. I wish one was short enough to where it wouldn't reach the negative, and the positive one was short enough where it wouldn't reach the positive. But anyway, you have to be very sure that those last 2 connections are correct. The one that goes on the positive post is the cable that goes to the solenoid. So check it, follow it. If it's the cable that goes to the solenoid, that one goes on the positive post. So then you know the other one's the negative cable. Dave says, bad idea tampering with your golf cart governor. Good idea tampering with your state governor. Still rolling on Facebook, I see, so that's good. Number 4. This is from Todd. Hello, Tim. I have an E-Z-GO golf cart and the charger receptacle is getting very warm, almost hot when charging. The batteries are currently at 50% charge per separate meter. They do not seem to be taking a charge. Water level is good. Batteries are Trojan, about 6 months old. I'm not sure if related or not, but the charger is plugged into a power strip with a breaker. The breaker trips after some time. Therefore, I plug directly into the wall receptacle, but still gets hot. Can you help? Well, Todd, it sounds like you're trying to charge some batteries that are really, really dead. And I can give you some hints if you're running into problems charging a real dead battery pack. You got to understand your charger, first of all, is going to work its butt off trying to charge a really dead battery pack. So getting hot is normal. All right. Now, you could get too hot where it could start melting some stuff. So you may want to do this cart in stages. In other words, you may want to charge it for a little while. Since there's no onboard computer or you're not going to hurt anything by doing this, set you a timer, charge it in stages, charge it up for a little bit, and then let everything cool off. Come back the next night, do the same thing, charge it enough. Eventually, you'll get those batteries up to a point where they will be easy to charge, and it won't struggle so much to charge it, because apparently you've let them get way, way down. Now, in the meantime, it might be a good idea to put a fan on that charger while it's running. Maybe put it in a position where the fan's actually hitting the charger and the charging receptacle if that's getting hot also. So you need to just blow some air across that. That will probably help with the heat. I have to do that all the time. Anytime there's a dead battery pack that I'm having to charge, I usually put a fan on it. Bruce says he always puts some red electrical tape on the positive cable just as a precaution. There you go. I mean, it's like I said, I don't like it when they can reach either direction, because I've seen people get that wrong. Right at the end of their battery job, you know, everything is fine, and they do the last connection wrong. Jeff says, how is your father-in-law? Oh, he's doing good. Sorry to interrupt your question. Oh, no problem. No problem, Jeff. No, he's doing good. He's still hanging in there. They might be watching right now. I don't know. They do watch occasionally. They have a visitor from Australia. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before. My mother-in-law is from Australia. So my wife is actually a dual citizen. She's a U.S. citizen and an Australian citizen. So they have a visitor from Australia visiting them right now. So I'm sure they're enjoying that. Okay. Number 5 is where we're at on the regular questions. This is from Mike. I lifted my 2004 E-Z-GO and put bigger tires on it, and now I have a really bad sway at half to full speed. What do I need to fix this issue? Any advice will help. I believe it has to do with the suspension. I don't want to keep buying stuff and it not work. Okay, Mike, you got a 2004 E-Z-GO. That means it's a TXT, all right, and you put bigger tires on it, and now you have a big sway. Well, what you've done is you've put more leverage on your suspension by having the bigger tires on it. You've got more leverage. You can probably grab the bar and push the cart back and forth, and it moves a lot easier than it did before. So the first thing you can do is don't worry about your shocks. You know, don't even worry about your shocks. Change your leaf springs. Change your rear leaf springs to heavy-duty leaf springs, and see what that does. If that's not enough, you can actually change your front leaf springs to heavy-duty leaf springs. But I would do the rear first and just see if that's enough and see if that helps your issue. Yes, my mother-in-law is from Australia, Jeff. Where am I at here? Number 6. This is from Kevin. Hey, Tim, I recently had a lot of work done on my 2010 Tomberlin Emerge. Those are nice cars. I've never worked on one, but they sure are nice. New batteries, 6 8 volts, new motor, new coil. New coil? I wonder what you mean by that. My main issue is that the batteries seem to discharge quickly. Each battery tests good after a full charge, 8.4 each. Total bank shows 50.6. After 2.5 miles, drops to 49.6. Also seems to lose power quickly when going up a grade. Any ideas? Well, Kevin, you probably have one battery going out. So check those battery voltages like you just did at time of failure. Like go make it fail and then check them. And that'll be the easiest way to figure out which one it is, because like I said before, they never all die at the same time. It's always going to be one weak link in the chain. William Rizzo, good afternoon, Tim, and good people. What do you say, William? Thank you for stopping in, sir. You can do it like that. What was that? No, was that number 6? Kevin, like I said, or a golf cart shop can put a load tester on your entire battery pack, and they can find that bad battery or that weak battery that's dropping out, because you've already verified that it's happening because you said your voltmeter goes down, right before it happened. Bruce says, I've seen where putting wheel spacers to get the tires out further helps with stability also. Yes, it does help with stability. He said something about a sway, so I was mainly concentrating on trying to fix the sway, but stability, yeah, you can get wheel spacers of different sizes. A lot of lift kits actually kind of have that feature built in. A lot of different brands of lift kits, they have that feature built in to where when you install their lift kit, it actually has a wider stance in the front. They don't necessarily have a wider stance in the rear, because the way that a golf cart is lifted in the rear is pretty much all the same. It's just a block over the axle. But in the front, there's different designs, and generally a lot of them will come out, and when you finish the lift kit, your golf cart's wider in the front, giving it a little bit wider stance without wheel spacers. But then at that point, you could put wheel spacers on the rear to even it out if you wanted to. Like they make wheel spacers as small as 1 inch, to even it out a little bit. So it just depends, whatever you like the way it looks. Jeffrey says, any updates with T-Max battery? I think is D-Max, Jeffrey, but he was here last week, and I actually did some more research on it, and I'm gonna do one. I'm either gonna, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but he says everything is going good with his. I've talked to him through email too. He says everything is fine, and what is unusual about his situation is that his car that this is in is a lifted car. I showed his car. It's lifted with taller tires, and he got the small amp hour pack. Normally that's not recommended. But so far, he hasn't said anything about making it shut down. He said he hadn't had any complaints about the BMS making it shut down. Because a lot of those battery packs, we've talked about it, the lithium packs, if you put the smallest 60 amp hour battery pack on a lifted car with tall tires and a big controller and all that stuff, and you get on it, you nail it, that BMS in that battery will notice it right away, and it will decide, I'm not big enough for this job, and it will shut it down and put it into limp mode so you don't damage it. So far he hadn't complained about that. That's what another thing I'm waiting for on his experiment. Evolution golf cars in the villages. William says you get a lot for your money. Yeah, I've seen some of those dealers popping up in my area too. Lots of Evolution dealers and Icon and Evolution dealers. I just, my only question about that was, what is the service after the sale going to be? Can you fix this thing if it breaks? That would be my only question, about those cars, about those brands. Helpless says the campground uses all Evolution carts, and they say they love them. Well, that's good. I mean, I want to hear feedback on those, good or bad, because I'd like to know. I'd like to know what to tell customers. I have customers ask me about them all the time. I don't have any experience with Evolution or Icon, but I know they're popping up everywhere. They're spending a lot of money on advertisement in the dealer magazines that I get. They're spending a lot of money on advertisement, and dealers. There's an Icon dealer now, new one, probably less than 5 miles down the road from my house. William says they're 6.3 kilowatt AC motor, so it's an AC system in those. Okay, cool. Number 7 is where I'm at. Let me check Facebook before I go to number 7. No, we're still rolling. That's cool. Jeffrey says that's what that 72 volt is. It was an evolution, yeah. I think where am I at here? Number 7. Yeah, that's where I was at. This is from Peter. 99 EasyGo TXT gas. It will fire, but not start. No fuel is getting to the engine. We replaced the fuel filter and all the gas lines, but the car won't start because no fuel is getting to it. Would this be the fuel pump? Well, let me see. No fuel is getting to the engine. It will fire. Okay, not backfire, but it will fire. I wonder what you mean by that. Because if it fires or backfires, that means you are getting fuel. So let's say we'll assume that it's not getting fuel. But that's the first thing you would need to do is pull the fuel line off of the carburetor and turn the motor over. Like touch the gas pedal with the fuel line off of the carburetor and see if fuel is dumping out of that line. If not, then you back up to the fuel pump. So you might be on the right track, but you need to see if fuel is getting to the carburetor or not. If you turn it over and you're trying to crank it and then you pull the spark plug and the spark plug is dry with no fuel on it, then you know that if it is getting fuel to the carburetor, it's not getting fuel past the carburetor because you'd have a wet plug. If you have a dry plug, you know it's not getting past the carburetor. So there's lots of ways to eliminate, where you need to concentrate your efforts as far as looking for the problem. But yeah, if you pull the fuel line off the carburetor and turn it over and nothing's spitting out, then back up to the fuel pump. Clay Mathis, my neighbor has a Chinese Evolution with a small problem. It was down 2 months waiting for parts from China. See, that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about, guys, that's why I said that'd be the first question I would ask. Can you fix this thing if it breaks? I mean, you can get EasyGo, Yamaha, and Club Car parts everywhere. Evolution, and what if you had some special component in one of those icons? I'm just curious. I mean, I'd love to know what a dealer would say if somebody would ask them those questions. Pickup tube in the tank, Jeff. The EasyGos, I've found a few this summer. Okay, pickup tube can stop fuel flow. Okay. I'm on number 8. Before I go to number 8, I'll look at Corey's question here. Corey Tobin, one more. Tim, my neighbor's cart, an 05 Club Car DS, 2 lithiums, 32 amp hour bats, sometimes no response at pedal. An 05 Club Car DS, so that means it's an M-Core if it's an 05. After several times it will work and run fine. Did he miss something with his install maybe? At a loss. Corey, it should have nothing to do with the fact that he went to lithium. Now this is my only question with people that go to lithiums on club cars that have an onboard computer. You realize that the onboard computer is going to view that lithium a lot different than it is viewed all the lead acid packs that have been in there. So if I had a Club Car DS, one of the first things I would do would be completely bypass the onboard computer. If I had a Club Car DS, an 05, I'd bypass the onboard computer at the same time that I went with lithium. That's for sure. And then get a new charger because your old charger is not going to work. If you go with lithium, you really need to listen to what they recommend as far as their charger goes. But I also think that they need to understand that you're installing this in a car with an onboard computer that's in charge of the charging system and it's doing a lot of monitoring. So, but anyway, after several tries, it will run fine. That sounds like an M-core issue to me, because you're hitting your M-core. What you're doing is you're hitting a little micro switch over and over and over again, and the solenoid's not clicking sometimes, and then all of a sudden you hit the micro switch and the solenoid clicks and the car takes off. So that's what it sounds like to me. William Rizzo says he hopes to find one that's used, and he's going to put an Avitas controller in it that's broken. Yeah, that would be a good idea. The Avitas controller in anything's a good idea. Where was I at? I think I'm on number 8. This is from Shane. Hey, Tim. Hi, Tim. I'm having issues installing the front wheels on my golf cart because the wheel is hitting the hub. What might remedy that? Wheel spacers question mark. Well, you must be trying to install some type of aftermarket rim or something. So the answer to your question is yes. And we talked about that earlier. You can get wheel spacers as small as 1 inch. You know, 1 inch may be all you need in order to get that wheel away from hitting whatever it's hitting. But you can even get ones that are bigger than 1 inch if you need to. I mean, you might be trying to install a negative offset rim or something. You know, there's lots of reasons why it might be hitting something, but it's definitely not the stock rim, because we know it's not stock, because the stock rim would go on without touching anything. All right, Dave says, twice this week we've heard about bad M-cores from 10 LOL on Amazon. So be careful out there. Yeah, 10 LOL has some of the drastically low prices on their products that makes everybody think they found the pot of gold. Well, it's not a pot of gold. You know, I talk to customers every day that have some of those products, and they're not very happy. I don't get positive feedback on them hardly ever. So be careful, like Dave says. There's a lot of cheap products out there, and if they're way cheaper, you got to ask yourself why. You know, why are they way cheaper? Corey says you're the best. Thank you, Corey. I'm just giving you my opinion there, Corey. That's what it sounds like to me. But if I'm just telling you what I would do, if I had that car and I was going to go lithium, I'd bypass the onboard computer first and then go lithium and figure out my charging system like that, and then I'd go from there. Then I know it's not going to be a onboard computer issue in the future. Voltages. Number 9 is where I'm at. This is from Marcus. Removed one of my 6 batteries to take it to a car shop to test it. It proved to be okay. It was the first battery off the motor, and when I reinstalled it, I installed it wrong. It should have been positive to battery, negative, positive to battery, negative. But I installed it positive to positive. I knew to wire it back in series, but it was dark. And I misread the battery. I charged the cart through two 11-hour cycles before I noticed the mistake. The cart moves very slow. What could I have ruined, and is this fixable? Well, what I would need, I'd need battery voltages, individual battery voltages right now, and you're going to have to, in order to get battery voltage, in order to get individual battery voltages, you're going to have to take the cables off because you wired something in parallel, and that's not going to be a true individual battery voltage because it's going to give you the battery voltage of the 2 batteries together. So you're going to need to take the cables back off and do individual battery voltages, and then we'll see where we stand. And the ones that are, if any, are messed up, if they're all reading correctly, and you got to pay attention to this, you have to pay attention to your positive and negative. You know, when you put a voltmeter on your battery, you got a red lead and you have a black lead on a voltmeter. You got a red lead and a black lead. Okay, so generally you put your red lead on the positive terminal and your black lead on the negative terminal, and you look at your voltmeter. If there's no negative symbol or anything, then everything is correct, because I have seen batteries reverse polarity. So you got to be careful about that. I don't know exactly what you did, but I just want to verify all this. So put your positive on the positive lead, your negative on the negative lead, and then see what your voltmeter says. Switch them around on the same battery and see if the negative symbol comes up on your voltmeter. Then you know that the battery is correct. But what you're looking for is one that has reverse polarity, and that may be difficult to fix. It doesn't happen very often, but I have seen it. William Flowers, what's going on, William Flowers? Stock 97 36 volt batteries are 3 Walmart 29s. Been doing well with me and the wife. Yesterday my son went down to the pond. His weight is 380, mine is 325, started smelling hot. Let's see, 380 to 325, let's see, 3, 4, 5, you're looking at 600. Well, the maximum weight for a golf cart is around 800. So, you know, you're pushing it to the limit, especially on a stock 36 volt. What kind of cart? William, it could be a combination of both, William, because those 312s are not going to have near as much power as far as when you put them under a load. They're not going to be able to hold the load near as long as if you had 6 6s in there. Yes, it will work. I mean, obviously it works fine for you and your wife, but when you start loading that down, they're going to show weakness way more than 6 6s would. Batteries with reverse polarities have an R in the battery ID numbers. That's what Jeffrey was saying. Tommy Bedford says, I understand that DC is direct current and AC is alternating current, but how can you get both out of a battery? I thought that batteries only put out DC, and what difference does it make on a golf cart? Well, Tommy, they do. Batteries only put out DC, okay? The cars that are AC, they have a DC battery pack, but the controller is not just a controller. It's a converter also. Not only is it a controller, it's a DC to AC converter. So when the battery pack gets hooked to the controller switches it to AC, and the AC out goes to an AC motor. But the battery pack is still DC. AC claims, you know, the whole deal with AC becoming popular is that AC conversion kits are claiming to be more efficient than the DC. That's what we've been trying to achieve that with golf carts since the beginning of time. That's when we started with let's basically say we started with the resistor controller system, the resistors that get red hot. That was the least efficient system. It works, and it's a bulletproof system, but it's the least efficient. As soon as they switched that resistor system over to a controller system, a solid state controller, golf carts became more efficient. They would drive further on the same battery pack. They would be smoother. They'd have smoother acceleration. Then the next step in the evolutionary chain was like region cars, where they actually go downhill and they put a little bit of energy back into the battery pack. Well, the next step after region cars seems to be we're going toward AC cars. You know, that's a DC battery pack, but the controller, like I said, is a normal controller, but at the same time, it's a converter that converts to AC, and then it goes to a 3-phase AC motor, you know, in the golf cart. That's supposed to be the ultimate at this time in efficiency, you know, the most miles out of your car. But, you know, with lithium, you can duplicate that with a regular controller card just by upping your amp hour on your lithium. So the ultimate car today would probably be AC and lithium. That'd be the ultimate setup. What's up, Craig? William Rizzo, DC to AC inverter. Would you start over? I missed the first 45 minutes. Late, but here. Got 3 trees to cut down. Ah, okay, thanks. Tommy. Gotcha. All right. Number 10. This is from Dina. Hi, Tim. Can I charge 2 8-volt batteries with a 12-volt charger? Now, Dina, the answer to that is no. That will not work. You can charge, first of all, I always like to point this out. 8-volt chargers are actually now available. They're readily available. You can go to Amazon and you can get an 8-volt charger. So if you had an 8-volt charger, you could charge one of those 8-volt batteries individually and you'd be charging it correctly because it's an 8-volt charger. Now, there's a little thing that pretty much all golf cart mechanics probably do from time to time. They use a 12-volt charger and charge one 8-volt battery, not 2. You can't. It's not going to do any good with 2 8-volt batteries because that's 16 volts. That 12-volt charger is not going to get anywhere to the point needed to charge 16 volts of storage capacity. But it will charge, that's one at a time. It will charge one 8-volt battery if you're careful. Now, will it fully charge it correctly? No, but it'll get you out of a bind if all you're trying to accomplish is to get the voltage up just a little bit in order for your regular charger to come on to charge the whole pack. You can use a 12-volt charger on one 8-volt battery. Set yourself a timer like an hour or something like that. Move to the next one, individually charge each one of them like an hour, and then come back and take voltmeter readings and see where you stand on each 8-volt battery. Don't walk away because that's not the correct way to charge an 8-volt battery. If you, like I said though, you can get an 8-volt battery charger, then you could walk away and and then charge it correctly, individually charge it correctly. All right. I think that was the last scheduled question. Let me run the social media links one more time. You can follow us on other platforms like TikTok and Instagram, YouTube and Facebook, obviously. Please do. Like I said earlier in this program, we passed 14,000 subs on YouTube and we passed 15,000 subs on Facebook. So not bad, not bad. We give away hats occasionally here on these episodes. There are some links in the description that'll take you right to them if you would like to buy a hat from Golf Cart Garage. Bam! There's some hot links in the description that'll take you to them. If you want to take your chances on winning a hat, I always announce it on an episode. I announce it a week before. I'm not announcing it today, but I might be announcing it next time. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look at the calendar. But I will announce it a week before when we're going to have a hat giveaway. Okay. Y'all want to see some pics? Today's pictures are from me. They are sponsored by me. Let's see some pics before we get to the closing statements here. Yeah, I actually have 2 of those Trojan signs, Jeffrey. I just hadn't mounted it yet, but I was a Trojan battery dealer for a very long time in Texas, and I probably still am in Texas. I don't know if I'm expired as a Trojan battery dealer or not, but Golf Cart Garage is a Trojan battery dealer also. But that was for me personally before I went to Golf Cart Garage. They're metal too. It's a pretty cool sign. I got a couple of them. Okay, where's my golf cart? All right, this is a cart I built for a customer that we'll look at. We had talked about stereo installs before and how I decided I'm never doing that again. It's a lot of trouble